recording, and it's time.
Actually, our intent is not to post it or distribute it, but our intent is to use it, learn from it, have a record of it.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Shall we admit?
It's time.
I don't think too many people will have a problem with it.
Yeah. I'm admitting now.
Okay. Do you need me to do that?
Actually, hey guys. Well, yeah, I'll make you the host now. Let's do that.
Yeah, if you do that, I can get everybody in.
Cool.
Richard Dole.
Richard! Hey, everyone.
What's up, Daniel? Alex?
Jason, you're the host now.
Morning.
I'm gonna...
All right. Oh, Jim, it's working today. Good.
Oh, I should mute myself.
Check. What's up, Dominic? How you doing?
Hi. Thanks for your email, Chuck.
Hey, Richard, how's Indy?
It's not bad.
Yeah?
It's actually a nice day today, so I'm happy to be in the basement doing warm-ups with you.
Well, I'm honored. I know, we had breakfast outside in our porch and it was just glorious, and I'm like, wow, I have to like teach after this too, so yeah. I'll be right back.
All right, Dave, how you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. You ready to start?
Yeah, we can, and I'll I can just monitor the the meeting, the waiting room, and all that stuff. So, hello everyone. Good day to you, depending upon where you are, morning, afternoon, etc. Just a couple of announcements. Most of you have heard most of these before. Um, it's an open setting, and so there are going to be a lot of great things discussed today, which is awesome. And there might be times where people send links, maybe to a certain book or a certain website to get some info on somebody that's mentioned. We encourage this collaboration, but as always, just remember, if you get a suspicious link from somebody that you do not know, we recommend not opening it, and we recommend letting you know, just in case there is an issue. Don't anticipate too many problems with that. There are some people that have mentioned that the link worked okay today, but if they entered the ID, then they got an invalid. If there's ever any issue with the way that you're getting into the session, please do let us know so that we can double check, any links that we're posting or any issues with Zoom. We are recording today's session. We are not planning on posting publicly, but it's more for us to learn, to see how things are going, and to have a little bit of a record for it. If we record in the future, we'll let you know. If you have a strong opinion either way, please do let us know. One of the reasons that we're recording today is because Brad Edwards is going to be doing a session a little later this summer in mid-June. But since he is on a different time zone, there's pretty much no way he can make it this time. So he asked if we could record a session so he could see what it's like. And so that was one of the big reasons why today we wanted to record this particular session. People are going to come and go, and that's totally okay. And please, by all means, if you have friends or colleagues that you think would be interested, you can feel free to pass along the information regarding our International Trombone Hang. Please just have them get a hold of us and we can get them the Zoom links. We want to make this as inclusive as possible while keeping it somewhat secure and not just posting on social media, the link to the room, etc. That's all I got, I think. Dave, does that cover everything before you kind of give us? Yeah, great. Okay, so today is Dave Roode. So Dave, take it away.
Cool. Thank you. Good to see everyone here. So let's see. We had a lot of sessions the last few weeks, and I really thoroughly enjoyed them all. I thought maybe today I would just lead this session and just kind of do a bit of a basic warm up. A lot of the exercises that I'm doing are actually kind of stolen from a lot of different people. I've got some exercises that I did like in lessons with Michael Mulcahy, and then a lot from like warm classes with Michelle Becquet. A few I've kind of modified on my own, or kind of some invented. But I kind of there's also a lot of stuff I'm still kind of borrowing from a lot of the sessions we've already done. That I'm still integrating in there. So some things maybe sound a little rockier than others is because I just started doing them, and others is like I haven't added them yet because I'm still figuring out if they work for me. So, but yeah, this is kind of I did a similar. I think I did a warm up was like a month ago or 5 weeks ago or something. It's gonna be pretty similar to that, but maybe with a couple little changes. So, and if you got any questions or if I go too fast, like just say. And I can repeat something or we'll go through it. So yeah, we'll start. Something I did before in my last session I really like to do, and I'm going to do it again, is buzzing, but not on the mouthpiece. It's going to be on the open slide. So you just take the slide off. And I kind of like to buzz on the open pipe because then you get a bit of the resistance. It kind of is similar to like buzzing on the mouthpiece. You kind of get the bit of the mouthpiece buzzing quality, and you get the resistance of it being on the horn. So it's kind of a middle ground. I like to start on an E flat in the staff. I find that's where the harmonic breaks, because I go above that, like it's sort of across a harmonic. So that's where I start. I'm going to use a drone pitch to stay on pitch. So there's an E flat, and we're just going to do like an octave slide, the E flat down to the low E flat, and then back up. We're going to try to take this down an octave. Just go as far as you can. I kind of sometimes have to break out around the low F, but we'll we'll just try to go the full octave to the E flat. So we'll start off here. I'll play it and you just play it back. And now let's just go together from the C sharp. All together. Yeah, and you can do arpeggios like that. You can take into the higher ranges if you want, but then you kind of start crossing harmonics. I just sort of did that to get everything kind of limbered up. Next thing I'll do is just some slow scales. So I'll start it, and then you just, we'll do, I think you just figure it out. It's fine. We're just starting to B flat up to an F and then back down. Just go all together. 1, 2, 3. do slow scales because it kind of lets me to work on my breathing as well through the whole process. I don't necessarily do breathing exercises by myself unless there's something not working. Then I would do breathing exercises. But generally speaking, I try to incorporate my breathing exercises with my playing. But that's just me, you know. So we'll do F scales going up. Is it okay we just play together? Do you want me to play and you call back, or we just play together? Okay, F going up. This way we go a little faster also, so we get through more stuff. 1, 2, ready. G flat down. And now I like to go into like the extreme low register. So we're going to start on just an arpeggio, a B flat arpeggio going up, and then do an A arpeggio descending, A flat arpeggio ascending, G arpeggio going down, and we're just going to work our way down. I like to go to the double pedal B flat, and we'll try to go there today, but I know this is like not a practical register to play in. You're never going to have, unless you're bass trombonists maybe would have to play down here in like solo works, but not really tenor trombones. For me, Michael Mulcahy introduced me to this idea that, and it's also in this book by Eric Clay. He does a lot of this extreme low register stuff. The idea is that like when you're playing an extreme low register, you can't be using tension. So you kind of use that to teach the rest of the registers of the playing of the instrument. And then we're going to, when we go down there, we're going to take into the high register, like a 3-octave arpeggio. You'll see when we do the whole thing. And the idea for me for that is to take that feeling of relaxation up higher. And also for me, kind of like, I find my embouchure in the high register is maybe a little bit more efficient. So I try to bring that embouchure downstairs as much as I can and sort of try to take the two embouchures and sort of join them. So, but that's more just a personal thing for me. So I'll just start playing and you come along. So start in the B flat and then go as low as you can. And if it doesn't work, then just, I don't know, go as low as you can. And then if you're doing it by yourself, let's say it breaks out, if you, maybe it's like the pedal F maybe, or pedal E flat, then you could just start the upper arpeggios from there. So it doesn't, you don't always have to go crazy low unless you want to. All right, 1, 2, 3. mention, when I do the B, I do the low B kind of like in a sort of on the trigger, like in a sort of a 4-ish, and I just sort of lip it down. If you don't like lipping the note down, you could just play C instead, which will change the harmony or the tonality of it. Then you get a real note. But I try to get as close to the B as possible, even if it's kind of a ghost note. So the B descending. 1, 2, 3. So now we do a 3-octave arpeggio from the double pedal B flat up to the middle B flat, and then we're going to do B descending, C ascending, and we're going to go as high as we can go now. There it is, okay. All right, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do that one again. 1, 2, 3. Now B descending. C ascending. this is a little hardcore, but we're going to start it back in the pedal B flat, the double one, and we're going to try to do 4 octaves. So usually when I do this, I go from the pedal B flat up and then back down B flat, and then B up and then back down, but we'll keep alternating them like we were doing before. But I kind of like to do this exercise a couple times a day. I feel it's kind of just good for my playing. I'm not sure why, but I like it. So,
Hey, Dave,
yeah.
do you have kind of a sweet spot where you're getting the double pedal B flat?
It sort of doesn't matter. Justin talked about this. I think I do it like in a sort of like almost like a trigger 4, like a low D, but and I use the trigger. I mean, I was experimenting with it the other day. I think it's better there,
Okay.
but not by much.
Anywhere is there. Okay.
I don't know if it matters really, but I mean yeah. I think if you have a bass drum when you got 2 triggers, maybe it's a real note. I don't know. Any
Yeah.
bass trombonists want to comment on that?
For us, it's big. And thanks. And hi, Brad. Join us in June.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So let's do some 4 octave arpeggios from the pedal B flat, and we'll see how it goes. Okay. There we are. 1, 2. 3. Now we do B descending. C ascending. I sometimes try to always push the envelope a little bit. It's like I'm going to try to go to G flat or G, but I always try to keep going a little bit more. So I like this exercise. I spent like an entire lesson with Michael Mulcahy doing just this stuff. And yeah. Jason, yeah?
Yeah, Dave, just a quick question. How long did you sound horrible on this? And I ask because I sound horrible on this because I don't do this regularly, but you sound pretty good. So I know you've been doing it for a while. But like, do you remember how long it sounded bad?
I don't know. I think it was really hard until, well, it still is really hard. It's also like, I don't know if you noticed from your camera angle, but like I have a bit of a shift in the lower register, which I'm actually trying to get rid of. So I don't know. I feel it's kind of like a gradient, It's like you kind of get better at it just by doing it. I do notice that like by playing, I don't know, when I record myself doing this, I feel the sound gets more focused, and I don't really understand why. I don't know if that's coming across through the microphone, but like when I do all the Michel Becquet flexibility stuff we're going to do later, it gets really limber, but it gets the sound sometimes loses its core. But this helps me find the core. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, it's half tongue-in-cheek, but it seems like it's the kind of exercise where it's not about sounding good. It's the kind of exercise where it's about making it sound a little better than it was before.
Yeah, I guess you could put it that way. I think also like try to make it as connected as possible and try to find the middle distance, especially in the low register. I mean, it's it's hard. I mean, I had air balls too. They just stopped. The notes just stopped going, so you have to go back and try again. That's. I don't think we're meant to play in this register for tenor trombone. Okay, but I think that was why my first lesson with Mike Mulcahy, we did this, and I was like, wow, this is. I wasn't expecting it. It was great though. It was like a really good lesson in just how to. The other thing is it kind of makes me focus on my breathing too, because you can't I have to take a good breath if I'm going to get a low pedal C. You know, it just doesn't work to breathe tight or shallow, I think. So, yeah. Something about just something I remember Pete Sullivan taught me years and years ago. I just started doing this, so it's going to sound really messy. But like I was telling you, I have like a bit of a break in my embouchure right around like the low F to low C, right around there. It's like a trigger exercise. I haven't worked out the exact pattern, but I'll show you the gist of it. You can experiment with it. And maybe bass trombones, you can experiment with like other trigger coordination stuff. But if you go like that's a basic pattern. But if you make it to like a something like that, just try that or experiment with it. And then what Pete would do is like that speed. So if you do that, you can't shift. It's impossible, you know. So there's something I just started experimenting with like yesterday. So I don't have it to present to you as part of like the actual thing, but that's something that just occurred to me. It's like, oh, I could do that to like work on that one thing, you know. So, but yeah, I decided to put that out there. What was next? It was some Becquet flexibilities. Actually, Jason and I went to a master class with, or a week course with Michel Becquet, yeah, in like 2002, I think, in Domaine Forget in Quebec. And he would do these warm-ups like this every day. So I'll just do I want to keep us moving. So let's just start with the scalar one. So it starts with an eighth note rest. So the rhythm is 3, 4, 1. Ba dee da dee da 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 da, and then back down. Rest. Da 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 da. I'll play it one time and you copy back, and then we go together. 3, 4. And Michelle always wanted us to stress the low note. So you go ba dee or da 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 da. So you're always kind of leaning in the low note. So let's just do it together, and then we'll just repeat the B flat, and we're going to go down to an F, and then we're going to start going up to the upper register with this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're going to do, we're going to start from the middle F and go down and back up all in one breath, and then we're going to go G flat and then A flat. We're going to gradually go upwards, but we're going to put them together now, like this. Oh, sorry. You see? So we just put them all together. Clear? Yeah? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. G flat. G. And with a C, Michelle would usually do the alternate positions. So the E in 7, A in 6. And then sorry, so C, B, C, A. You see, you would do that, but you could do the trigger too. It's as you like. Just mine's noisy, so it's that's why I sometimes do that. All right, D flat. 1, 2, 3. When I go above the F, I'm going to slow down again. It's hard for me to play these clean, so I'm going to just slow down a bit. So, about that tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there's some other big K ones I'll do. Let's just do this one. Michelle always liked to do slurred and then tongued immediately. So he would do, yeah, I'll just show you. And then we go down every slide position. 1, 2, 3. And then you go to the D, so we do a triplet. La ba da dum dee da dee dum ba da da dee da dee da 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 dum. So I'm singing the wrong note. Start on the B flat. So it sounds like this. Clear? Yeah. All right. 1, crew, ready. Go back. So you would go all the way down to 7th. Now we're going to go to the F, and that's going to be 16ths. La ba da ba dum, da ba dee be dum, ja ba da ba da, like that. And again, we do slurred and then tongue. 2, 3. Etc. I want to kind of keep moving because there are a couple exercises I want to show you that we started to do the last time I was doing a session. Some people asked. I'll just finish this one off. So now the last one, I'm going to do this one just slurred. You can do it slurred and tongue, but for me, I'm still working on it slurred. Okay, so I'll just show you. It's you go to the B flat, but you alternate between the F and the B flat. So it sounds like this. Like that. So the trick is when you're coming back down, don't play the D. So B flat, F, B flat, F, B flat. You want to go play. It's instinctual to play the D, but you have to sort of skip that one. Okay. About that tempo. 1, 2, ready. Down to A, 2, ready. Sorry, again. 1, 2, ready. That one's a bit trickier, as you can see. The other one I like to do is just octaves. So I just do the B flats, octave. I'll show you. Again, slow, fast, slow, fast. Now we go from the B, go together. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to go a little slower past the F because it gets a bit unstable. 1, 2, 3. And you can go higher than this if you want. I mean, I find like when you go from the F to the B flat, at least for me, I wouldn't say it's a break in the embouchure. To me, it feels like there's a break in how I use the air. Like when I'm playing above, like a high C, I feel like I have to really just drive the air, and then it sort of works. But if it's sort of in that register from F up to C, you can sort of float a little bit more. And so being able to navigate there, and that's why many times you hear people do the Zarathustra, they get the high D and they miss everything on the way down, I think. It's because you're still sort of driving the air and that doesn't necessarily work as you go lower. Or like this, I'm getting sentimental over you. So it's coming in and out of that range of how you're sort of breaking between how you use the air, I think at least. Any questions? There's like one more exercise I want to show, or maybe two, but if there's anybody who wants to open up to questions or discussion, go for it, you know. The one I started to do last time was, I stole it from a YouTube video of Toby Oft doing these wicked lip slurs, and I think some people asked me afterwards, like, could you explain that or break it down? So I actually did break it down into a much simpler version, where you can then extend up to the when he does. But I'll show you the pattern, and then you can just gradually stack up harmonics on top of it. But we'll go as far as we have time for, and then we'll do some articulation stuff, and then, yeah. So here's how it goes. You start on the B flat, the pedal B flat. So B flat, F, F, and then we just go back down to the pedal B flat. Like that. So the whole pattern will sound like this. Like that. So I'll play it and you just copy it back. Now in the second position. take it one more harmonic higher, but when we descend, we're going to add a little extra bit. You'll see. So the first half going up is like that, and then so the second half is so altogether it's going to sound like this. Make sense? You want me to break it down again? Alright, let's try it. Let's just do that one again. Now in second. Third. And then etc. You go on fifth, sixth, etc. I don't go past sixth position because then I can't play the low C. I can't really play a low B, and it kind of goes off the slide to me. So now we're going to go one more harmonic up. So if I break it down, all right, everyone got it? All together. Oh, want to do it one more time slower? Should I break it down? Hear it one more time? So that's the first half. Like that. So all together, 1, 2, 3. Do that one again. 2, 3. Now from the A. It helps me to accent the lower note. You see? That helps me a bit, but third position. Okay, so now we're going to go back to first. We go to the F. You can go all the way down to 6, but now we're going to go to the F. Okay? Again. Let's all go together. 1, 2, 3. to the B flat. Okay? Back to first, like this. I do it again. All together. 2, 3. And then what I'm trying, we're not gonna try to do now, but I want to go to the D. I don't know if I can do it, but I'll try. I'll show you my attempt. See, I don't have the stability yet up there, but that's kind of what I'm working on. If you can go from that all in one, motion, then that's gonna make a lot of things a lot easier. Like Brahms 2 would suddenly be much easier, I think, or Zarathustra, Yeah, and then we'll just do some articulation. Any questions about that, or no? Okay, and then we'll just do some articulation patterns. This is again a big K exercise. It's going to be in the F. We're going to do it once slow, once fast. We're going to do the from the E. We'll just go together. 1, 2, 3. E flat. 1, 2, 3. And the other pattern you can do, I really like this one. Oh, there's one I forgot to show you. We're going to do it real quick, but just the other pattern is if you just take it, do the scale. Like that, and then you just do that up and down every key. That's another good way to just work on articulations and scales. The one I wanted to show you is this is again from Michel Becquet. He would do this at the end of his flexibilities, and he would do this to make sure, like just to check, are we limber? Okay. So I'll show you the pattern. It starts on an E flat. I'll just show you. So E flat, and then to the G, to the third, chromatically up to the B flat, octave B flat, and the E flat. La da 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 la da da. See, I'm singing out of tune, but like this. And now we do the one slow and then one fast. Like that. So that's really testing. That's really testing to see if the face is limber. And then we do it on a D. Yeah, and that's all. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. I'm doing experimenting a lot of things from all the other sessions that I'm adding. Something that helped me a lot in the high register is actually some stuff Tico showed, and Lars and Tico together. Like I do like a lot of rim buzzing up to the to get to the above the C. I like to do kind of like octave slurs, you know. So if it doesn't work, I buzz it on the rim, and usually that kind of sorts it out. So that's something that's helped me a lot from the sessions. But yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Dave.
question. Yeah.
Do you have the Michel Becquet exercises written out anywhere?
No, I have them recorded. When we were in the class, we would just I recorded them, so I've got a couple hours of just him warming up the group. I could write them out, but they were a little different every day. Those are just kind of the ones I remembered. So I think I made an audio recording of like he would play and then the class would copy back. And I think I did one where I cut out the class and I put in silence so you could hear Michelle and then you could play along. I think I did that, but I don't know where it is. I might have it somewhere, but I'll look for it. That was basically what he did every day, like those sort of flexibilities and slurs. So, yeah. Any other questions or discussions?
I know one of the things that come up in a few of the sessions is just the idea of, are the exercises more like workout regimen, or are they more like warming up, and people just have different thoughts on whether they warm up at all, period, or even conceive of that, or how they do it. These exercises, you get into them pretty soon in your playing, even the more intense ones?
Pretty much, yeah. Something that we actually usually end up asking everybody is like, do you what would you do if you could only warm up in 5 minutes? And actually, this is kind of coming from being years of a freelancer in London, that, trains can be very unreliable there, and sometimes you get to the hall and it's still locked. There were times I had to do auditions with only 10 minutes warm up because they only had 2 warm up rooms, and one was occupied by the pianist rehearsing, so there's that's a reality I found in that situation. What I like to do is have a 5-minute warm up. I kind of feel like we should be able to play most things with very little warm-up. I mean, maybe not rolling out of bed and playing Bolero, but you should be able, because you have to sit on a stage and sit there for 45 minutes and then play Mendelssohn Midsummer Night's Dream or Brahms 1 or something like that. So to me, many times what I like to do is before I start playing, I'll just sort of noodle around, You know, just sort of fiddle around, some articulation, you know, check that the air is working, check the posture is right, check that, you know, just kind of check everything. And I think if after 5 minutes of that, I should be ready. If something's not working, I go and I give it attention. Like if it's sticking in a certain register, I go to the mouthpiece or go to the pipe or go to the rim. But I think after 5 minutes, it should be there. So usually, like when we did this warm up, I really didn't play much before, but usually by like most of the end of what we were doing the stuff with the slide, my face felt like it was close to normal. So that's kind of I like Ian Bowser always talked about like separating, you know, the warm up time and then the practicing time. So another thing I sometimes like to do is I skip all this altogether and I just do like just a noodle around and then I go right to like LaFosse studies or Bordoni or Marcel Biche or something like that, like fundamental technical studies to kind of work on stuff in my playing. Like I think it's really smart to try to work on technique issues away from like standard repertoire pieces or excerpts or things like that, because it's very easy if you use like bolero to practice your high notes that when you use bolero, you think of bolero like a high note practice, not a piece of music, you know. And I think that's, or David is like think of like how many times we learned David when we were like teenagers, and then we go to play the David in an audition and suddenly we feel like teenagers again, playing wise, you know. And it's, I think it's good to, Ian Bowser always talked about like separating like your technical practice, save that for like LaFosse, you know, or Arbenz, you know, and then music you should play like music. But that's sometimes I just do that as my warm up, like just warm up with LaFosse. So
Well, let me follow up with this, and then I'll leave it to other people. So, if you were to do like basically this whole regimen of what we were doing just now, especially if you do it in all 7 positions all the time and challenge the registers, are you then taking a break, or then you're like, I'm ready to play other stuff, or does it just depend on?
I don't know. I usually, sometimes I take a break, sometimes I go into other stuff.
Okay.
It sort of depends on how I feel and what I have to do. Like I feel like I could practice like kind of properly now.
Okay.
I don't think I need a break, but I don't know. Yeah,
All right.
yeah, it could sort of be whatever. I mean, the other thing is, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I never thought about it. Yeah,
Hey, can you hear me?
yeah, of course.
Hey, why do you play the B natural, the fake B natural in 4th instead of 7?
Sorry, the in 4th or sorry.
Yeah, you play the artificial low B natural in 4th instead of 7. Why do you do that?
Oh right. Oh yeah, because oh like the I'm like lipping it down.
Yeah, I know.
If I played in 7th, it starts to like I already kind of struggle a bit with a low C because I'm not very tall, so to like stretch there is like actually really hard, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like I'm not going to play it with a good sound anyway, so I might as well just do it in 4 and then lip it down where at least I can get closer to. I mean, there is sort of like a ghost harmonic in there. I heard a guy in college who could play like low C's and low D's on a straight trombone with no valve, and he could rip them out louder than anybody could on a valve. And I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard that, but it's not a good sound. It's just
Yeah, I mean it's pretty crass, but I mean that's no valve down. I mean there is sort of a ghost harmonic in there. I figure I also, you know, sometimes like when you're playing like third trombone on Mahler 3 or Mahler 2, or Mahler
Mhm.
6, you have these like well, Alpine Symphony is different. That should probably be bass trombone. Although I played Trombone 3 on Alpine Symphony, and that was kind of terrifying actually to do that on a tenor, you know. But when you get on these parts, you do have like low Bs that are sort of like,
Hey,
should be bass.
about
Yeah.
that. Listen, they might not have the audition for a while, but Hong Kong Philharmonic utility trombone always had the third part to Alpine Symphony on tenor trombone.
Oh,
Always,
really?
every single time. Yeah, and I obviously didn't work out for me.
Well,
But
that's,
every time they had that, and it was just
I ended up one time, and I won't name the orchestra, but I ended up playing fourth trombone in Janacek Sinfonietta on a tenor, and it was like kind
Is
of
it
a
low?
massive
Oh, nice.
miscommunication between personnel and principal trombone and hiring and all this stuff. And librarian gave me this part, and I was like, "Is this right?" You know, and they're like, "Oh no, you know." And it all kind of emerged kind of shortly before it happened, and I was like, "Well, I could lose the gig or I could just do it," you know. So I had to play this
Right.
part on, you know. But somebody loaned me a valve section that has E flat on it. It's an E flat valve section. So I worked out how I could go back between the F valve, pull it out to the E valve, and then switch to the E flat valve. And all like the auxiliary brass behind me were like totally impressed. I had all these like valves and all this stuff. It was kind of a good smoke screen for the terror that I was going through. But like, I kind of feel like if I can play the B every day, then when those situations come up, like if I work out, I feel I put myself in a better position. Or I've been in situations where like the bass trombonist is stuck. This happened one time recently. The bass trombonist, this was in Cincinnati. Pete was stuck in traffic. There was a massive traffic jam. And I was the assistant. And they're like, "We need you to play third trombone on this Dvorak thing." And I was there, like, on the stage, ready to sight read this. And he walked in the stage door, like, 2 minutes before, and then walked on, and I was saved, you know. But, like, sometimes you do have to be ready to do this stuff. So I think it's good to be able to go down there, and even if it's not the best sound, if you could just make it work.
Yeah, no, I ask because not because I don't think you need it. I do think you need it. That's on the New York City Opera audition, which I did do well, and they had Schumann Romance down the octave. So there was a low B in there on purpose for a second trombone position, and it's not an excerpt. It's a musical. A musical piece, so you can work it in. You can make it softer and work it in the dynamics, so it's not so noticeable. But my question was more, I didn't know that you could play it in fourth. I just didn't know that. So can you also play it in third? I mean,
I guess it's just better where it sounds a bit better, or where the center is a bit better. I mean, it's not going to center anywhere, really. But where it's sort of is less unfocused, if that makes sense.
right.
At that point, you're just trying to, like, lesser of two evils, I think, you know. So, yeah, lesser of seven evils. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Anything else? I mean, I got to teach in like 15 minutes, so I can't really hang out too much longer, but
That explains it.
yeah.
That explains this session.
All right, yeah. Well, I also didn't want it to go on forever, you know. Some of these they turn into like a 2-hour masterclass or lecture, and I mean,
Hey man, some of us have nothing.
I feel like we leave that to like the really good players who know what they're talking about. I'm just a guy like kind of warming up, you know. So yeah.
No, your warm up is one of my favorites. One of my favorites. I need it. I would like it written down so I can so I can work it out.
Right.
Because you're so good at it, you know.
The other thing is like it changes all the time. I mean.
Right.
I've been doing a lot of stuff that I kind of took from Tico's exercise, like up to the F. Like a lot of that stuff I've been really messing around with, and it actually helps me a lot. So I didn't include that because, well, I'm still figuring it out, and then it's also like he already showed you, so it's kind of a bit silly for me to just repeat what someone else did, you know. But I mean, it just gotta, yeah. Hey, see Dan, thanks. Yeah, I think it's just you just keep modifying and stealing ideas, and I don't think a single exercise in here I've actually created myself. I don't think.
Right.
No. Every one of it I took from somebody. So.
I don't think anything that we do is from it's from something is from somewhere, even if it's a little concept.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's basically what I do.
It's been great, Dave. Really appreciate it. And everybody's got different job responsibilities. And one of the things that I really like about your sessions is because you're, like a freelancer, and because you do a lot of utility playing where you join a lot of different sections, you have this, really diverse job responsibility, that you have to cover. And so your practice session, definitely reflects that. And I'm sure that I know for me, I'm speaking for me, but there were some things that I felt good about how I sounded. And then there were some things where I'm like, I'm glad this is muted. I should really work on this more, because it's not something I work on because I don't need it very much, but it was really great for you to shine a flashlight on that. And, I think that's in one way, that's a really great thing about these sessions, is that everybody's shining a flashlight in different places. And so, you can kind of be reminded about some things that, you can work that up, and there's nothing wrong with that, so thank you. That was really great.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm glad you're all here too, and I don't know where we all are, but the weather here is fantastic, and that you would take time out of your day to come, do a warm up with me is really appreciated. So thank you.
Our next session, which is what's today? Saturday. So the next one's on Wednesday. Wednesday. Vanessa Freilich's going to be taking us through some stuff. And then we've got a couple people lined up after that as well. For the next 2 or 3 sessions, the timing is going to be the same. But then as of right now, on Saturday, June 20th, we got Brad Edwards, who's going to be leading us in a session. But he lives in Phoenix, which is 3 hours ahead of, 3 hours earlier than Eastern US. So the session's probably going to be 2 hours later. So for those of you in Central European time, it's probably going to be 6 p.m. on Saturday. I don't know how convenient that is, but it's the best we could do to figure out a time to accommodate Phoenix and Berlin. Those are 2 time zones that don't really get along very well. But we're going to do our best to accommodate as much as we can. So if you have suggestions, if there are people that are interested, I know Sebastian was here earlier. He's going to be doing a session in the future. It's great when people take their turn and share some things, because I firmly believe that you can learn something from anybody as long as you're open-minded about it. I got 7th grade students that every once in a while they'll say something and I'll say, oh, that's a good way to look at that. Good for you. So if anyone's interested in giving a session, just reach out to us. We'd love to have you. And if you have suggestions on other people, let us know and we can reach out to them. And thanks everybody for coming in and checking it out.
Cool. Groovy. Great. I'll see you all soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Bye,
Dave.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody.
I'll see you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Good. Cool. Thanks. Hey guys, I gotta be right back. Just give me a second, all right?
Yeah, no worries.
There is nothing we have to talk now, no? It's basically we are set till.
Yeah, we got a lot of people.
No, there is one session. It's open between Brad
17.
17.
Yep.
I wrote Chris and Lindbergh the email.
Okay.
I'm waiting. He may respond, may not. Let's see.
Yeah. I have a friend who's in the Iceland Philharmonic, and I think that he may try to make a session, but his initial reaction was a little, I don't know if I want to lead one, but I think if he were to come to a session or two,
Yeah.
I you might warm up to it, you know, because it's a pretty chill group. I think it sounds more intimidating for some than it actually is.
Yeah, yeah. Ah,
We'll see.
yeah. And
Yeah, Vanessa, Igor, Sebastian, Lucas, Open Date, Brad Edwards, and then. So one of the things, you know, so Teo, it's interesting because in the past couple sessions, the Europe attendance is definitely down, as if a lot of people are taking a vacation. And I think that, you know, that you brought up a good point where you were like, should we kind of take a break? And I wonder if maybe you know, whoever is kind of on the roster over like this month of June, whoever does the session, maybe we say like, if, you know, if hopefully we continue into the fall, and maybe we ask them to kind of repeat a session so people that are taking a break could still get a chance to hear them again. And we're a little more, you know.
well, you know, it's not vacation time now at the moment. Everybody is, you know, life is starting back in Europe.
Yeah.
Some orchestras started to play again, even mine, but without brass and winds. I think, I don't know, the tendency is that we are less and less people online for these sessions. And this was one idea, that maybe we should take a break, like summer, like school, you know. They have, I don't know how it's there, but in Europe there is 1 month, it's off almost every year.
What's the date?
I think it's a bit different, depends from country to also part of countries, but it's basically end of July. No, end of June, and all July is free, and then middle of August the school starts back. This would mean like 4, 5, 6 weeks, but we don't have to take that long a break. But I think we should give the people a bit of time, because I have this feeling it's getting too much, even for me. Sometimes, you know, so many informations. I not really have time to work on exercises I would like to learn.
Sure.
Really learn. And then the next session I get other exercises, and if I don't write it down or record it, I'm lost. And I don't really have time to work on something that
Yeah.
I've, you know.
Well, do we want to think, you know, we don't have to. And the last thing I want to do is, you know, make a mountain out of a molehill. But if we wanted to, I would be, so I have a website that I maintain regularly, and I would be happy to, on my website, make a page for the International Trombone Hang. And on that page, if we have PDFs of the exercises, we could post them there, and then people could download them there. If we wanted to post recordings, or if we wanted to, you know, we could basically make it a hub to put information about our sessions. So, and we could even password protect it so that, you know, you have to be on the email list, you know, to have access to it. So if we're dealing with any copyright issues or whatever.
Yeah, I think this is a good idea.
You know, but that way people can kind of check in with it if they would like to kind of revisit that information. And it's more from, you know, an experience to a resource, which could be helpful.
Yeah, definitely.
Do we want to like just poll everyone and just say, hey, do you want to take a break in the summer? Or do you want to keep going? Maybe it's better to just ask everyone.
Yeah, but we don't have, it's never 130 people online, like all the list. But
I can send an email for sure. Yeah.
I think we can send an email with, we don't need to discuss it a lot. Or, you know, I will go probably home, because I go home once a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if I can go online even.
I could make a little survey, 10 questions, just
Yeah.
like continuing. Do you want to, you know, do you want to take a break? And I can ask things like, what's, you know, I can list a couple of things and say, you know, what do you like most about it? And, you know, diversity, you know, I can list like 5 suggestions on things that people might want to see. Like, would you like access to the recorded sessions? Would you like access to the printed materials? You know, And I imagine most of the time people will say, yeah, sure, you know, but I can try to come up with ways to actually get information that's helpful to us. And so I can write up something and send it to you two. We can kind of look at it. And if we decide that we want to just make a little 5-minute survey that people can take, send it to the list and see if that gives us, you know, a little bit more feedback. I don't know. The good news is I think at this point, even though there are people that, even though attendance is down, I think that there are people that weren't here today that still really appreciate what we're doing and still really appreciate this as a thing. And there are probably people that are thinking, oh, it's too bad I had to miss Dave's session, but there's always good sessions, so it's okay, you know? And so in some ways it's kind of, because we've got 130 people on our email list. So even if only 10, 15% of those people show up, like we usually get between 10 and 15 regulars, like people that are on the list and we know.
Counting 3 of us.
Yeah, and then we usually get like a couple more that it's their first time. You know, almost every session there's 1 or 2 where it's like, okay, it's their first time, you know, to the session. And so I think it's nice that it kind of keeps slowly building like that in terms of the network. You know?
Guys, I'm gonna have to go because I got a student in about.
No worries, Dave.
So.
I'll jot some things down. I'll email you. But yeah, we're good for a little bit here. So.
Yeah. Next Wednesday, I'm gonna have to miss because I've got a doctor appointment and I can't reschedule it until like September. So.
That's okay. I've got a lot of flexibility, so just remind me and I can sign in as you.
Okay, cool. Or I think I can start the session and then hand it off to you.
Either way.
I think that would work, but I think mine's at like 20 minutes in. I have to be at the doctor's office. I scheduled it like months ago, and I called them a week ago. I was like, hey, can we reschedule later in the day? They're like, we can't reschedule unless you cancel and reschedule in September. So there's no way to.
Yeah, no worries.
So,
I got you.
But I'll start it. I should be able to start the session. So. Okay.
All right.
All right, guys.
Bye, guys.
Cool.
Good seeing
Thanks,
you.
guys. Be well. See you. Bye-bye.
Ciao.